You say you're waiting for the right time, but let's get real for a second. You're not waiting for the right time. You're avoiding your own greatness. You're hiding behind someday, pretending it's a strategy. But deep down, you know what this really is. Fear. Not just fear of failure. No, this runs deeper than that. It's fear of what happens if you actually succeed. Because if you succeed, there are no more excuses. No one left to blame. You'll finally have to face the truth that you were always capable of more. And that truth, it terrifies people, so they stay small, they stay stuck, they stay waiting. But let me ask you something. What if the version of you you've been waiting to become is already in there, buried under years of hesitation, watered-down dreams, and second-hand opinions? What if the life you crave isn't waiting in the future? It's trapped inside your inaction? You keep telling yourself you'll start when you're more confident, more qualified, more ready. But confidence doesn't come before the leap. It comes after. It's earned, not given. And you don't need qualifications to become something great. You need conviction. You don't need permission. You need motion. And readiness? That's the biggest lie of all. The people who change the world don't wait until they're ready. They move before the fear catches up. You want proof? Look at every revolutionary in history. Every game changer, every disruptor, every legend. They didn't start with guarantees. They started with fire, with clarity, with a voice in their gut that whispered, "This matters, do it anyway." And then they moved. Not because they had all the answers, but because they were done sitting in the questions. Look, the longer you wait, the heavier your dreams become. They don't just fade quietly, they rot. They start to feel like regret. And regret is the most expensive thing you'll ever carry. Not because of what you did, but because of what you didn't. You know what I'm talking about, that project you didn't start, that conversation you avoided, that move you didn't make because the timing wasn't right. But timing isn't something you find. It's something you decide. You create your moment or you miss it. That's it. Let's get one thing straight. You're not stuck. You're just addicted to comfort. And comfort is a silent killer. It whispers soft lies in your ear like, "You're fine. Things aren't that bad. Play it safe." But honestly, safe is where dreams go to die. Comfort zones don't keep you safe. They keep you small. And every single day you spend inside that invisible cage, you reinforce the belief that you're not worthy of more. But you are worthy of more. You were not born to live on repeat. You were not born to sleepwalk through life while your soul screams for more. You were born to build, to break patterns, to blaze new paths. But here's the twist. It's going to hurt. Growth hurts. Change is uncomfortable. Transformation is messy. Therefore, most people avoid it. They keep choosing what's familiar, even if it's killing them slowly. Let me be clear. It's not supposed to be easy, but that's what makes it beautiful. You don't want an easy life. You want a meaningful one. You want the scars that come from showing up for something bigger than yourself. You want the war stories that prove you didn't hide when it got hard. You want to look back one day and say, "Damn, I built this." But none of that happens unless you move, so let's cut the noise. Are you living on autopilot or are you actually alive? Are you creating or just consuming? Are you building your future or binge-watching someone else live theirs? You get one shot at this. One. And no, this isn't a rehearsal. This is it. Therefore, if you've got something in your heart, start it. If you've got a message, share it. If you've got a vision, build it. Stop waiting for approval. The people you're worried about impressing, most of them won't even remember your name 5 years from now. But you have to live with your choices forever. And that's what this is really about. Ownership. Owning your time. Owning your voice. Owning your story. Even the messy chapters. Especially the messy chapters. Because that's where your power lives. You think people are inspired by perfection? No, they're inspired by your fight, by your comeback, by the way you rose after breaking, by how you kept showing up when most people would have quit. That's what people feel. That's what they remember. Not the polished version, the real version. So what if you're not perfect yet? Who cares? Start anyway. So what if you failed before? That just means you've got experience now. So what if no one believes in you? They don't need to. The question is, do you believe in you? Because if you don't, everything else falls apart. And listen closely. Your dream doesn't care about your comfort. It's not going to show up and knock politely. It's going to show up in the middle of the night when you can't sleep because something inside you knows you're built for more. That's your sign. That's your alarm clock. That's the universe kicking you in the gut and saying, move. And if you don't, you already know how that story ends. Another year passes, another excuse gets written, another what if buried under busyness, and your future self is left wondering what could have happened if you had just started when it was hard, when it was messy, when it was scary. Now, therefore, stop romanticizing potential. Potential is useless without action. Ideas are cheap without execution. Talent is meaningless without grit. And motivation? It fades. What you need is discipline, fire, relentlessness. What you need is to stop negotiating with your old identity and start becoming the version of you who does the damn thing whether he feels like it or not. That's who wins. That's who grows. That's who lives free. I get it. It's easier to say, maybe next week, after this busy season, when I've got more money, when the kids are older, when I've read a few more books. But that's not strategy. That's self-sabotage dressed up as logic. There will always be a reason to delay. There will always be a fear screaming in your mind. Therefore, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving in spite of it. The secret? Stop thinking so much. Stop planning yourself into paralysis. Start doing. Build it while you're scared. Speak before you're confident. Act before you're ready. Because ready is a trap. Now is all you've got. Here's what's wild. The life you want is closer than you think. Not because the road is easy, but because the next step is already in front of you. It's that conversation you've been putting off, that email you haven't sent, that project collecting dust, that leap you know you need to take. You don't need to see the whole staircase, you just need to climb the first step. And when you do, the next one appears. That's how it works. And yeah, it's gonna get hard. You'll question everything, people will doubt you, you'll lose some friends, you'll face setbacks, criticism, long nights, and silent mornings where no one claps, no one sees you, and you wonder if any of it matters. But those are the moments that make you. That's when your character is built. That's when your grit is tested. That's where legends are born. Not in comfort, but in chaos. So decide, right now. Decide you're done waiting. Decide your future is worth fighting for. Decide you're not going to let fear write your story anymore. Because deep down you know you were made for more. You feel it. You've always felt it. That ache, that fire, that quiet voice that keeps whispering, don't settle, that's your soul. That's your purpose knocking. Open the damn door. Start where you are, with what you have, in the middle of the mess. It won't be perfect, but it will be yours. And if you keep going, one day you'll wake up in a life you built with your own 2 hands. One day you'll look around and realize, I did this. Not because you were the smartest or the most talented or the most prepared, but because you moved when it mattered most. Let everyone else wait. Let them keep planning, talking, posting quotes without taking action. You build, you become, you rise, you do. That's what separates you from the rest. So stop waiting for the right time, the right people, the perfect plan, the green light from someone else's opinion. Stop looking for signs and be the sign. You are it. You are the one. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not too late. You're just one decision away from changing your life forever. Start. Now. Start loud, start scared, start messy, start anyway. The world doesn't need another person talking about what they could do. It needs someone who actually does it. That's you. So show up, build it, share it, fail forward. Keep swinging, keep climbing, keep becoming. And when the world finally looks your way and asks, where did you come from? You'll smile and say, I stopped waiting, I started building, I stopped doubting. I decided, this is your moment, this is your time, this is your future. And you're not going to waste it hiding. You're going to own it. So lean in, breathe deep, and take the first damn step. This is You 2.0. Subscribe if you're ready to level up your life.